Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back. Going in Raw News Brief. We got some news from over the weekend here. Unfortunately, no Punk Daily since the first Punk Daily, Larson.
I mean, I suppose we could talk about Kevin Nash talking about what sorts of crap he'll see on Punk, but I don't know if that's really news.
Yeah.
That's really pushing the limits of Punk Daily, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'd rather hear Kevin Nash's response to LA Knight using
Calling him
the
a moron, essentially. On
adjective.
SmackDown.
He did actually call him that, yeah. So I don't know if Kevin Nash, I'm sure he'll have a good-natured response to that.
I'm sure he would. I don't feel like Kevin Nash takes himself too seriously.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, a guy who does take himself too seriously or does not, I don't know the guy, Vince McMahon. So last week, WWE and Endeavor issued a press release to announce that the UFC WWE merger should be complete by September 12th. That's tomorrow. And if that is the case, today marks the final WWE Raw with Vince McMahon in full control of the company. He was in control. He had all the maximum voting rights. He could vote to do whatever he wanted. No more.
Not anymore.
He still has a pretty ironclad deal, but it's not so ironclad that some shenanigans of some sort.
I mean, I think the way the voting power is distributed on this new board, I think it's 11
6
seats.
to 5. 6 to 5
with WWE having 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I don't know what would constitute removal from his position as sort of head of WWE. But basically, it's no longer a Vince McMahon, a solely Vince McMahon show here. And yeah, I guess time will tell if they're going to pull the old switcheroo on Vince. I know I did read that, like, if they were to dispatch of him, they'd be on the hook for quite a lot of money, like his full salary going forward, like for 2 years or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, the guy is already, because of this deal, he's probably on paper at least, a more of a billionaire than he was before.
Yeah, maybe a billionaire several times over. Who knows exactly?
Yeah.
It's the what could happen starting tomorrow ranges from absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, like the day-to-day operation of WWE probably won't change really at all.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Not really possible. The clock strikes midnight. It's officially September 12th. Really no difference at the new Titan Towers.
Well,
whether Vince is tomorrow. Now, that's not to say that the following days there's a good chance there could be some reorganization going on.
Yeah.
To merge departments that maybe Endeavor feels like there's too much crossover.
Yeah.
Between UFC and WWE, and then unfortunately, this possibility exists. And it's fairly common in mergers. People lose their jobs because of merging of departments.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And so, that's a bummer. We don't hear about anybody losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no releases in terms of talent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to see anybody lose their job. I don't care where they work. Don't want to see anybody lose their job.
Absolutely.
But in terms of Vince's role and everything, it's unknown. We really know what role he has now if he's recuperating from back surgery.
Things have been very quiet as it pertains. There was a period of time when Fightful would release all sorts of stuff about, like, this is what's been changed with the show. And I know that Sean had said that they were going to tamper down on, or they were going to, not report on that kind of stuff much longer because it became such the norm. But given that there hasn't been any major, Vince was, at this show, Vince was at this show, Vince had a heavy hand in this, that, or the other. It seems that the original report that came out after he had his back surgery, that he was taking time away, that's still in effect, and that the surgery that he had was life-changing. And who knows exactly what that means. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Vince. I mean, he's got these investigations, these cases that are still pending. And I don't know if that's going to affect his status with the company going forward, if that's going to be something that Endeavor's not going to want to deal with, so they might cut him loose. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. But in the meantime, in terms of just being a fan of the WWE product, what we see on screen seems to be a Triple H affair. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, regardless of whether or not Vince holds that position within Endeavor or not.
Yeah, it remains to be seen, how much sway, how much power he's going to have in this new, with a TKO Holdings.
TKO
is this
Holdings.
New company that's been formed, under which this WWE-UFC merge corporation will do business. Again, I think he's chairman of the board of that particular.
Are you gonna invest in TKO Holdings?
No, I don't have money to invest, man.
Right now, WWE's at $100.65. What do you think the opening price for TKO Holdings is going to be?
I'm going to guess less than that, but I don't know for sure.
Is UFC? So is UFC itself? Or no, I guess it's Endeavor.
No, I think it's part of Endeavor. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Endeavor.
What is
stock.
Endeavor trading at?
$21.92. Don't ask me how to square all that shit, man.
I don't know how any of that works.
I have
Endeavor's
no
company,
idea.
which trades at way less than WWE, acquires WWE. I don't get it.
It's like that time. It's like that time Impact Wrestling bought Anthem Sports or HD or whatever it was.
Yeah, I did. Like, how did? Yeah, Impact seemingly has nobody bought its own cable network. I know. I don't get
It's
it.
all very the world to be. Theoretically, shouldn't we be able to buy Wrestle Talk?
I think theoretically you could probably come up with a way to do a lot of things financially, whether it works in practice. That's something else entirely.
Yeah, man. Let's leverage the shit out of our little company.
I mean, if we're willing to borrow a lot of money against the show, sure.
So check this out. Matt Riddle took to Instagram on Sunday. So here's the thing. Like, I don't usually care about talking about what happens in wrestlers' personal lives unless it affects what we see on our screen, because then it becomes newsworthy to what we talk about. And this seemingly definitely affects what we see on our screen and might for a while. So he took to Instagram on Sunday to put up a post, which has since been deleted, that he had been sexually assaulted by the NYPD, by the New York Police.
It might be I think it's both, like, I don't know if it's NYPD or it's Port Authority. I know Port Authority handles the policing at, like, the ports, obviously, and I think at the airports in New York City. So he says NYPD in his Instagram post, but then at TMZ mentions Port Authority, so I think it's probably Port Authority. But
thank you for the clarification. He says one thing, it might actually be another thing in reality.
Could be.
While at JFK Airport in New York, he said this: nothing like being sexually assaulted by an officer and harassed at the JFK Airport. No means no, and just because I'm nice doesn't mean yes. Asshole. Don't know their Twitter or Instagram handles, but I took pictures. Normally I'm like, whatever, but today was really weird and uncomfortable, and they made a point to make me feel small and useless. Definitely one of the most uncomfortable travel days I've ever had. Thanks, NYC. You're so progressive and accepting. So, shortly thereafter, TMZ reported that, quote, law enforcement sources tell us Port Authority officers got a call for a disorderly person who was deplaning, and they met him in the terminal. As it turns out, that was Matt Riddle. We're told the cops talked to Matt Riddle as well as other witnesses, and he seemed apologetic in the moment. No police report was filed, and everyone was free to go without incident. End quote. However, due to Riddle's accusation, the Port Authority is launching an internal investigation. Today, PW Insider reported that Riddle is not on location for today's Raw, and now is not expected to work this weekend's live events, shows he was previously booked on. Now, he's in the middle of a thing with Drew McIntyre, the New Day, and the Viking Raiders, and that certainly was going to continue, you'd think, tonight on tonight's episode of Raw. But
Yeah.
I hope Riddle's okay. He posted, like, along with this wasn't just a post. It was a picture of a dude. I guess the Port Authority guy who looked confused in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Who knows what this internal investigation is going to turn up anything, if the results are going to be made public. It seems like a fairly confusing situation.
Yes.
Matt Riddle is no stranger to some, I don't know how to describe it. There were some allegations levied his way in the past. There were some legalities involved. That left a lot of people feeling a certain way about Matt Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when he's got that in his history, it's difficult to sort of see his side of things, but maybe there will be some sort of other side from his perspective, that is validated in the future. I guess that's entirely possible. Seems like a bizarre situation, and he's not going to be on Raw because of it, evidently.
Yeah, seemingly, and not just Raw, but apparently the house shows, live events this upcoming weekend, and who knows how long he may be off the road. I don't know if WWE is going to conduct their own internal investigation into what happened or whatever. I don't know. There hasn't been any sort of public statement made by the company yet. So
yeah. So ongoing story, continuing story, and hopefully it all gets sorted out.
Indeed.
Speaking of Raw, do you want to do a quick Raw preview today because we didn't get to that on the show? I don't have any whatchamacallits, any special guests here. So, man, I know you've been advocating this for a while, and I don't want to make it the norm because I feel like the celebrity impersonators were a very important part of what we do here on the show, but nobody here to do that today, Larson.
Well, that's too bad.
You don't sound terribly upset about that.
I'm very upset about it. Can't you tell?
Yeah, you don't really seem like you are.
All right, well, let's do the Raw preview first.
I could bring somebody in.
We don't have to do that. You already said no. You're promised nobody. So why disappoint people?
Because here's the thing. I only said that because I don't want you to have to suffer through more of that stuff because I know you don't like it.
I don't care for it.
For the better of the show. But then your attitude kind of makes me want to bring somebody.
What attitude?
That attitude right there.
I didn't have any attitude. I was very even tempered about it. I didn't have any attitude.
First up, Rhea Ripley defends her women's world title against Raquel Rodriguez with Dirty Dom barred from ringside. Is it possible we're going to get, instead of Dirty Dom, J.D. McDonough, given that he's trying to trying to curry favor with the Judgment Day? Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, J.D. McDonough is going to get involved. Yes, 1,000%.
This next preview bit is probably my favorite.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I love this here. All it says, Larson.
It's 5 words, Steve.
Cody Rhodes returns to Raw. Those are the only 5 words I need to know to get geeked out.
Raw's his regular program. What return is there? That's his show.
Yeah, he's back. Coming back to it.
From where?
From last week.
That's because he missed a week. They're going to have a thing where
No, he was there last week. He's going to be there this week too. He's returning. To just make sure everybody knows Cody's going to be on the show. So tune in because I'm sure he's going to. What is he doing right now? Who is he feuding with right now? He did a Grayson Waller effect on Payback, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And he announced Jey Uso.
Yeah,
What did he do last week? Did he do anything last week?
No, I don't think he's feuding with anybody. That's why he didn't have a match at Payback.
He's floating around.
Yeah, he's going to be head to SmackDown soon enough. Also on Raw Night Imperium to hold an Intercontinental title celebration for the Ring General.
Live sex show for Gunther.
Tune in to find out.
Could put the title on the bed and then do sex on bed. With who, Gunther? Find out. Tune in tonight. Going to lay them down.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to blow it back. Oh, man. All right.
Man.
Anyways, that's going to do it for News Brief.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about Vince McMahon? Should he, I know he's got some problems with his back. Maybe he should have Gunther blow it out. Let us know in the comments below. Till next time, hit that sub button, hit the thumbs up. We'll see you around.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Go to blow it out.
Oh, my gosh.